All right, here is our adding and subtracting rationals with different denominators lesson. The steps that I'm going to talk about are all explained over here. This first example is with numbers only, so this is just a quick review of how we add fractions with different numbers. The goal is to get a common denominator. So you want to think about a number that 4 and 3 both go into. So I like to start with a bigger number and just list multiples of it till I find one that the other number goes into as well. So I just start listing multiples of 4, 8, 12, 16, and I notice that 12 is divisible by 3. 3 will go into 12. So I can rewrite both of these denominators to be this one. So to make 4 into 12, I'm going to use multiplication. I'm going to divide by 3. Now, I have to do the same thing to the numerator that I do to the denominator. What's happening here is I'm not changing the value of the number because I'm multiplying by 3 over 3, which is the same value as 1. So it's really 1/4 times 1. I'm just changing the numbers that I'm using to indicate that value, the form of the numbers, but not the value. Over here, to make this 3 into 12, I'm going to multiply by 4, bottom and top. So now this gives me 3 over 12 plus 8 over 12. And now that they have the same denominator, I combine them into one fraction and add the numerators, and that is just 11 over 12. All right, so for this example over here, now you see there's variables involved. So we're going to take this in sections. There's the number section and the variable section. And we're going to build what's called an LCD, which stands for least common denominator. So that means we want the smallest number that the number parts go into. So that's going to be, so I'm going to start with the bigger number and list multiples. And now notice the very first number works for the 3 also. So that's going to be the smallest number that both 3 and 6 go into. So the first part of my LCD is 6. And then for the variable part, they both need an m. And we're going to use the highest power of each variable that we have. And the highest power between the two is a squared. This one is squared. So now I need to make both of these denominators match this group denominator. So in the first one, I'm going to multiply the 3 by a 2 to make it a 6. And then this has one m, and I need it to have 2m, so I'm going to multiply by another m. This one is exactly what I need already, so I don't have to change it at all. So I'm going to skip this step of writing them separately and just go ahead and combine them into one. So they're going to have the group denominator, 6m squared. And then multiplying these numerators gives me 14m. That one stays the same. And you want to factor if you can, but these can't, so they don't simplify. Okay. On this problem right here, we have, or we're going to build our LCD first. Looking at the number parts, 3 and 4, their LCD is 12. And then they have different variables. So each variable needs to be represented in the group denominator. So I'm going to put an A here and a B so that they're both represented. So now for this first fraction to get 3A to look like 12AB, I'm going to multiply the 3 by a 4. And it already has the A, but I need a B there, top and bottom. And then for this one, to make the 4 look like 12, I'm going to multiply by 3, top and bottom. And then this one already has the B, so it needs an A. So I combine them into one big fraction with the common denominator. And then here I have 4B times 1, which is 4B, plus 1 times 3A, which is 3A. And I can't factor or simplify, so I'm just done. I want you to pause the video and try number 2. All right, so for number 2, the LCD for 4 and 6 is 12. The LCD for the x's is x squared, and then the group denominator needs a y squared for this one. So to rewrite my fractions in this first denominator, I'll do 4 times 3 gets me 12. X squared, it already has an x squared, but it needs a y squared. And then for this denominator, I need to do 6 times 2 to make 12. There's one x here, I need it to have 2, so I'm going to multiply by another x. And then it already has a y squared, so we're good there. Combine them into one fraction with the common denominator. Multiplying these numerators gives me 3y squared. Multiplying these numerators gives me 10x. And I cannot factor or simplify. And then I want you to pause the video and try these two problems. Okay, I know I asked you to try both problems, but I forgot on number 8, there's a distributive that I wanted to talk about. So take a minute and just check your work from number 7 right here. And then for number 8, I already have this set up. So my LCD is 10x squared, and then that means multiplying this first fraction by 2 over 2, and the second one by x over x. Now, there's 2 terms in each numerator, so multiplying by 2 in the numerator means distributing, and in the second one is a distributive. So I'm going to combine it into one big fraction with the common denominator, and then my distributive property here gives me 6x plus 4, and then plus in the middle, and then 7x squared minus 4x. And then I want to combine like terms. In the numerator, there's a 6x and a minus 4x, and that's it. I'm going to write 7x squared first. 6x minus 4x is 2x, and then plus 4. And nothing can factor or simplify here either.